Earlier on the news, we told you that a former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has attributed the North's current state of backwardness to its leaders, saying that after having ruled Nigeria for over 40 years, underdevelopment and poverty still characterizes the region. We now have to talk to someone, a public affairs analyst, Ahmed Hussaini, who would give more perspective and understanding to the statement. Good evening to you, Mr. Ahmed Hussaini.
Hello, good evening.
It's nice to have you around. So I'd like to get your opinion as regards what the former speaker said, attributing the backwardness and poverty saying played out in the northern region of Nigeria to leadership defaults.
I think for me, I think this is a situation where both the messenger and the messenger, where there's problem with both the messenger and the message. I will start with the message first. Yeah, I believe that it is not only northern Nigeria that is suffering from bad leadership. It is the whole of Nigeria, north, south, east, wherever you turn to. Nigerians are suffering, Nigeria itself is suffering from bad leadership, bad governance, and poor leadership at all levels, whether be it at the local, state, or federal. And when it comes to the messenger, I think the former speaker is just trying to ingratiate himself to the presidency. If you look at his political antecedent, he's someone who was initially opposed to Mr. President's candidacy, before the 2023 election, and now after the election, he's trying to find his way back into the president cycle. And I think he's looking at. I think he's seen things like this as an opportunity for him actually to warm up, to back into the president's grace. But on the whole, I think, yeah, regarding the message, it's not only northern Nigeria that has, the issue of poor leadership. It is the whole of the country, and we must do something about it. And I think all the elites, actually, our political, traditional, economic, they all stand to, share part of the blame for the poor, state of affairs developmentally across the country. And the former speaker himself, unfortunately, is also part of those people. He's part of the northern elite. He's part of the Nigerian elite, whether he likes it or not. And I think he also is part of the problem, not the solution in this case.
But then, according to statistics, about 65% of the poor, looking at around 86 million people in the north, are said to be living in poverty compared to the south that has just 35%. And I guess that's what the former speaker is actually talking about in terms of the scale. So when you look at that, what do you think are the critical steps that need to be taken by northern elites to change this narrative?
Yeah, I agree with that statistic that comparatively, the north is actually faring worse than the south developmentally. If you look at the incidence of poverty, and other human development indices, the north is quite lagging behind the south in this aspect. And when you look at northern Nigeria as a country and southern Nigeria as a country, you can see the disparity in very clear terms. And I believe what we can do, it is like imperative on northern stakeholders, the leaders, traditionals, economic, political, at all levels to actually come together to put some drastic measures that will actually put northern Nigeria on the path of sustainable economic development and prosperity. But to do that, I think it requires, the cohesive efforts of of leadership at all levels. But the major responsibility actually lies in the leadership of the northern states. State governors across the 19 northern states have a lot to actually contribute to actually change the Mr. President. There is a lot, as we can see with the developmental, outcomes in different states across the country. I believe there is a lot that states can actually do, independent of the federal government, to actually bring some form of development to their people and, changing this narrative of poverty, underdevelopment, and insecurity that is bedeviling northern Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed Hussaini, Public Affairs Analyst, for sharing your thoughts with us.
It's my pleasure.
We'll now go on a short break on the news. When we return, we'll bring you more stories.